Hello, everybody. How the hell are you? This is Real Men Talk Shit. We have Dan with us this week. He is a medium. He's a cool fucking dude. And we're going to tell some stories. We're going to bullshit. We're going to have lots of fun. Me and him sat on the phone the other night for, I think it was like an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it felt like 20 minutes. He told me that I lived 27 different lives. And guess what? I'm still failing this one. So, Dan, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My name is Daniel Jackson. My business name is Spirit Medium Daniel. I'm a medium. I see dead people. Pretty much about it.
I see dead people.
Yeah.
We will get into the sponsors. Exactly. We will get into the sponsors in a little bit. I like throwing them in the middle so that way anybody who decides to actually watch the show gets all the credit instead of the people that just click it for the first 5 seconds. Make sure to check us out on all platforms, all audio platforms, all video platforms, because I decided to stop being lazy. I think I also have to turn up this fucking ring light because it's too dark. Yeah, really unprofessional, but whatever.
No, that's not unprofessional.
Not at all. So yeah, we're gonna have some fun. First off, Dan, how the hell are you? Why are you here?
I'm doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Not too bad, man. This whole network release thing has got me fucking all jumbled up. I've been talking to millions of people, had hundreds and hundreds of emails, and then nobody puts in the effort after they send the email, and I'm fucking dying laughing.
Yeah, that could be a little bit of a hilarity, but also frustrating at the same time.
Yeah. 4 people have called me, and they're the 4 people that actually have put in the effort, which is surprising. I expected 2 people.
Well, when we put expectations out there, that's when we get the most unsatisfied about what's going on. But we are the ones who are actually putting the expectations out there. If we put less out there, we wouldn't be so disappointed in our lives.
I'm not disappointed in life. I'm actually kind of surprised with how many people answered. You know how many times that I got that called a scammer? It's like, people, do you guys not actually click on the fucking links and look at what I'm doing? I'm talking to fucking stars. You guys are talking to your best friend in your mom's basement. There's a difference here.
That is the difference, and that's the thing about it. People are very untrustworthy at this time. But the reason why people are so untrustworthy is because, like you and I talked about on the phone, where you got 10 kids sitting next to each other. Each and every one of them are talking to each other, but they're not actually talking to each other. They're talking to each other through their phones. So they don't have any real social interaction anymore. And the world has kind of lost that. And without that social interaction also is the loss of trust among people.
Yeah. Well, think of it this way. What was the first thing I sent? Hey, if you want to call and talk about this, because we'll sit here and we'll bullshit and we'll have an actual conversation. I'll be able to explain myself and articulate myself much better. And you'll hear the jokes that I have in the pitch instead of actually just sitting here and kind of just rolling over the fucking jokes because they're there.
Blah, 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 shit. Yeah. Yeah, which is nice, and then we ended up talking for 2 hours just because once you get back into the groove of things and get back to actually talking to people, like you said, time just flies by.
And it's not everybody. There's some people you just fucking click with, and then there's some people where it's like, oh, I'm going to have a conversation with you. Wow, that 5 minutes felt like 2 hours. I love my grandma to death, but she just circles over top of herself and circles over top of herself and circles over top of herself and just sits there and goes on and 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 on. And my fucking hard drive sitting here disconnecting on and off. That's what the hell I heard. So, there's some people where it's just bad. There's some people where having a conversation with them is like shooting yourself in the foot and telling you to run a marathon. And then there's some people where it's just the most easy fucking simple thing to possibly have the conversation. We were having a fucking deep in-depth conversation while I was playing video games, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, I was looking at other stuff on Facebook as it was going, but after a while I was like, okay, I'm getting old now, so I can't do two things at once. So you can ask my wife that; she'll tell you the same thing. But but yeah, I had to go. Okay, got to stop doing this because you were going so much. I was like, I want to be able to hear that and not pay attention to this other crap. So
I'm pretty damn good at doing that. I just go. Once you get me going, I just go, and there's no stopping me. It's just trying to reel me back in and have a conversation is one hell of a thing some days.
Well, like you said, when you're having an intelligent conversation about them, then you're linked in, you're hooked in, and all that information that's being processed into your mind, it's always been there for that long a time. Now it's got an outlet to come out and a reason for it to come out.
Yeah, and it's really, really fucking complicated to find a conversation or somebody who actually wants to genuinely have an intelligent conversation, regardless if it's about something that's fantastical, which is more extreme, like being a medium, or being a podcaster or a politician or anything like that. Even the people that do those things sometimes genuinely don't even know what the fuck they're doing. And they don't have the ability to have that intelligent conversation.
Right. So, or all they can talk about is bullshit.
Yeah. So I had two fucking questions for you. And then we're just going to go into whatever the fuck we decide to ramble on into.
You ask and I will have an answer for you.
So with being a medium, actually, let's start off with the easy question. And then I guess I'll have two more in-depth questions. What is being a medium? Why don't you explain it just a little bit?
Being a medium is different for everyone because there are different types of mediums. A lot of the public out there has a view of us from what they've seen on television and movies, and what they show on TV and movies. It's just not like that. But there are some people out here who do what I do, who are actual real mediums, and then you have some people out here who are just good at reading people, and then they want to scam the shit out of you. And I have seen that live in person. I've gone to some of the other mediums. They do shows sometimes, and you have to remember when you go to one of these shows that these mediums put on, that when they're going to read people in the crowd, if you have maybe 15 or 20 people in the crowd, about 8, maybe 10 people are going to get read within maybe an hour or 2 hours time.
Yeah.
But also, if you have a crowd of like 500 people in 2 hours time, again, you're only going to get about 8 to 10 people who are actually going to get read. So, you know, those other 490 people, all they did was pay money to basically what you're watching the show. You're watching, and unfortunately, what that does is it cheapens it a little bit, and then it turns it into a circus act, a dog and pony show. But you do have, just like in any type of business, like a band, you know, you have fans of people, and these fans of people like to continuously go and see wow, I can't believe they got this message from their mom or their dad, and they just like to see that part of it. So that kind of messes things up for us as well. But with mediums, each medium out there, we all have a different gift. We don't all have the same gift. We don't all have the same abilities, that's for sure. I actually see spirit all the time. I see them basically 24/7. The only time I don't see them is when I'm sleeping, and I have to take a lot of medicine to actually do that. But I see people. I see them two different types of way.
Do you see them in reflection? Do you see them in reflection and through cameras, or do you just see them only in person in front of you?
I see them everywhere. So I see them in front of me. If I look into a dark TV, I see them inside the TV. And what happens is, in a dark TV, I can see the TV for a second, but if I focus in and start staring at that TV, within a couple of seconds, I start seeing people's faces, and they're all walking around. Within my general vision, it's different as well. Like I said, we all have different things going on. The walls behind me, if you see my wall, that wall is white, and everybody else who sees that wall is white. when I see that wall, even as I'm looking into the camera and looking at my wall through the camera here, I don't see a white wall. I see white and a cloudy, misty blue inside that. And what I'm seeing is I see energy. I see it everywhere I go. So everything that I look at, if I look at this bowl that's in front of me, even though it's already blue, if I look at anything and I get a good look at it for a couple seconds, I just start seeing that mist everywhere. But that's just me. But one of the drawbacks that I have being me is when I go outside at night and when you look up into the sky, what do you see when you look up into the sky?
Depends. I live in shit fuck nowhere. So I see a whole shit ton of trees and I actually see stars where most people wouldn't.
I don't see any stars at all. I haven't seen stars in almost 3 years. It's gone. And that's part of what's going on with me and the changes that are going on with me, because my spirit guides are actually working on me all the time, getting me to be able to communicate with them better. But since they do that, changes have happened to me. So like when I go outside at night and I look up into the sky, I don't see any stars. I see the moon. And I see this one little tiny group of stars. It looks like a letter Y. And it's 4 little stars. That's it. When I look at the sky, it's blue and black. And then I just start seeing people walking around, or I see everything else. And when I mean everything else, someone else was asking that today. What do you mean by everything else? I see horses and cows and giraffes and pigs and alligators and fish. And I see a lot of other spirit that do not look human because they are not from here. And I know there are a lot of people out there who are going to say, oh, I don't believe in aliens and all that stuff. You don't have to believe in aliens, but I'm just telling you, I see spirit.
Could it be like demonic things? Could it be things like that?
Well, they would look demonic if you believe in things that are demonic, but they're not demonic, because what they are just something from somewhere else that when they come through, religion told us that they are monsters and they are demonic. They are not. There's no such thing as also one of my gifts. I see spirit, but spirit actually comes to me. They don't see me like you do. They see me like a super bright white light. And they come to me because they believe that I'm the light into heaven. Fortunately for them, I am. And that's what I do. That's what's part of my gift. So when they come to me, they're looking at me and all they see is that super bright white light. And that's why I see so many of them, because they're all around me. It's like a moth to a flame, and they come to me and they see that light, because when you pass away, everyone will have one personal light. And if you choose to go in that light, that's fine. But if you choose not to, because going to heaven is not going to happen because you prayed to God, or because you gave money to the church, or you hung out with all those religious people inside of that big giant building that they have, it's called God Club. It's religion. And if you hang out there, you're going to go to heaven, but only 104, because the Bible says 114,000 people are going to rise up. No, bullshit, because religion indoctrinated God and Jesus into their line of thinking, and God and Jesus have nothing to do with religion. But what happens there is, like I said, these spirits come to me and they see that light, but they don't know what I am, because like I said, when you have that personal light, if you choose to not go in that personal light, it goes out. And then you're just wandering around here as an earthbound spirit. And there, as many people that cross over into that light, there are that many who don't cross over. And I'm talking gazillions of them. And I see them every night before I go to sleep. I'm sitting here in my dark room or in the bedroom, and when the lights go out, it's just like a light comes on, and I see blue light all around me. And it's like I'm standing on like a balcony, and I'm looking down, and I just see, like, it's landscape, but there's land, but there's no building, there's no trees, and just gazillions of people, and they're all just walking around, looking at each other, contacting each other, engaging with each other. They don't talk like we do. It comes through mental telepathy, and I hear it, and they come around and they're talking to each other, and I just see them and they're just mulling around. Why? Because there's nothing to do there. And that's why I always tell people, when you see that light, when it's time for you to go, because when you go, you're going to fall asleep, because everybody does. It doesn't make a difference if you die from debilitating disease, cancer, or get hit by a car, or fall off the top of a building. That's all a facilitation in order for your body to die. And that is the only reason that you die. The reason you're dying is because your body needs to die in order for your soul to move on to its next destination. And that's it. And you either choose to go into that light or you don't. And that's the only way you'll go to heaven. You choose to go in the light or you don't. But the problem is where they are, earthbound spirits, they don't know that they can cross over, because the world always told them, you're a piece of shit, you're going to hell, you're going to be judged, all that crap. I'm telling you, God doesn't judge us. We judge ourselves 1,000 times a day. Why does he need to do it once more? Because he doesn't. There is no Satan. There is no devil. There is no hell. There's no purgatory. I see it. They're just walking around, mulling around. They just don't know they can cross over.
Wouldn't Earth technically be purgatory? And if you have headphones, that would be awesome, because I'm getting a little bit of feedback from my mic through your sound.
Yeah, you know what? My headphones are downstairs. I'm actually in my regular room instead of my my studio.
I understand. I was just asking because it's given me a little bit of feedback. I didn't want the sound to be.
It might be feedback. You might actually be picking up on my actual energy. My energy itself from me is so crazy, because I'm that light to show. My phone never works properly. My computers, any computer I get on starts screwing up all the time. Any phone that I get my hands on, any electrical thing that I'm using or something like that, sometimes works, sometimes it doesn't, all the time.
Yeah, you can see your internet being like, are you getting attacked right now, like with lots of spirits? Because your internet's being funky too.
Yeah, they're around me all the time. Wherever I am, they are. Here's the best analogy I could do for you. Do you want your house to be haunted? Let me walk in, and it will be in about 10 minutes.
So let's break down some questions, because I think I have some pretty intuitive ones. So
awesome.
Keep talking about these blue mists and stuff like that. Now, I can see this as like two different ways of thinking. Now, I could understand where you would see the person as if they're human, but obviously, like, the opacity is taken all the way back. So you see like their highlights and their lowlights, but you don't really see them. So like you see their figure, you see their base, but not necessarily skin tone.
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. I when they come through, as soon as they come through to me, I get a brief glimpse, second, like about that fast, and I see everything, and it comes right in. So I can tell you if they have blonde hair, black hair, blue hair, red hair, blue eyes, green, whatever skin complexion is. It just, as soon as I see them, the moment I see each person. But the thing with that is, when I see spirit, it's like me standing in a room with 1,000 people and nobody leaves, and more people keep coming in. So trying to keep track of them all is like walking through the mall and trying to pick out one person when 1,000 people are walking through the mall. It becomes very difficult. So there are certain ones I will tune into, and then other ones you have to learn to see which ones you're actually going to try to connect with, because spirit themselves, the higher power, God, whoever you want to call him, they want me to cross these spirit over. So, and they know I'm not going to get to every one. So I just try to get to the ones that I can. But yes, I do see what they look like, their nationality, Because there's a difference as well, because there are spirit who have crossed over and the spirit who haven't crossed over. The ones who have crossed over, when you cross over, if you die at the age of over 30 years old, you will actually go back to being 30 years old because it's a prime age. If you die under the age of 30 years old, your soul will grow up into being 30 years old, and you stay this prime age forever, as long as you don't have to come back. When you cross or don't cross over and you remain here as an earthbound spirit, that's why you see spirit that look like, you might see when it comes through like an old man or an old lady, because whatever age that you die and you stay here as an earthbound spirit, you will remain that age. You'll feel a little bit better because they don't break bones there anymore. They are, it's still about, you'll still have energy there. And the blue mist that I see, that's what I'm seeing. I'm just seeing it's a collective energy. So that's what the blue part is. But when I see them, after I get that glimpse, I see them as you would look at me, and you see my white skin and you see this. And I see they're still wearing clothes there. It's kind of weird, but I see them. But they
is it
are
more basic clothes, or is it actually individualized, like it would be from me to you?
Oh boy! If you're earthbound, whatever you basically kind of looked at and died in is what you look like there.
Now you keep talking about this blue mist and this kind of ideal of everybody kind of like merging into a blue mist. Have you ever played Mortal Kombat?
No, but I know what it is.
So there's this character named Shang Tsung. I cannot pronounce it. It's Chinese. Shang Tsung. And he's the soul guy. He rips people's souls out of their body and stuff like that. And it turns into like essentially this green mist where there's like skulls rotating around it to show that there's people in it. Is it very similar to that, where it's like essentially like a gaseous kind of like liquid form that you're able to see, or is it actual like solid tangible kind of stuff that you can see that's not really there, like a hallucination almost?
Well, when I see energy itself, when I'm looking into that realm, because sometimes I just go to look into that realm when I'm in my meditation, I see energy. Energy flows like a river. You see these little bands of it, and that just looks like a misty river. It doesn't look like
I'll show you.
Like you say, it doesn't look like a liquid form. It just looks like a band of it. And you see it's just very misty looking, if you're up in the sky and you're kind of looking through a cloud and you see the cloud and then you see a plane pass through it. I see that cloud, but I also see the people walking through it.
Gotcha. I'm going to send you a screenshot.
When I see them, they themselves at that point after that glimpse are blue, but you can still see the features in their face. I can tell it's a black man or an Asian man. I can still see that. Their eyes are blinking. They look at you. They smile. Or they just give you, sometimes they like to give me dirty looks because they, like I said, all they see is the super bright white light. They don't know what I am until I actually start speaking. And when I start speaking, they go, they look at me like, oh boy, I know what this is. Because they know, because when you get there, you know where you are and you know why you are where you are. And you know why you're on that earthbound, because you chose not to go into that light, because they see that light. Because, when you're here on earth, you get educated into saying, it's a horrible place. You should be afraid to go into that light. Like I said, they're going to judge you. They might turn you around and send you to hell. And that's what even when they cross into that earthbound spirit, they still have those feelings, because when you're earthbound side, you still hold on to your pain, anger, sorrow, grief, guilt, all that shit. When you cross over into the light, you let all of that go. You don't hate anybody, because people ask me questions like that all the time. Does my mom and dad, do they still have a grudge against me? Because last time we had a talk, we argued. No, they don't, because they let all that stuff go. It's hard to imagine to be able to let all that stuff go, but it's like a weight off your shoulders. But yeah, I still see them. They're just, if you've ever seen anybody, and you know what I'm talking about, with a black and white tattoo, where the black takes up the picture, but the white of their skin takes up, yes, exactly. And the white of your skin takes up the rest of the picture.
Yep.
That's how I see them, except the black, for them, they are blue, and the black background takes up the rest of them.
Yeah. So essentially, like I was saying originally, where it's like the highlights and the lowlights of them, it's more of a broken
Absolutely.
down image. Yeah.
Absolutely. But you can still see they look like people. They look like what they are.
Now, I did
That's
send
the
you that. I sent you a screenshot of Shang Tsung's Soulnado to give you kind of an idea of what I was talking about, to see if
and I
it should be in
don't see it.
Facebook Messenger.
Oh, I don't see. Yeah, yeah. This whole thing is taking up my whole screen. I can't even see Messenger
Oh,
right here.
got you. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. I just wanted your kind of opinion.
But I'll
Of,
check
hey,
it out. I'll check it
yeah,
out later and go, yeah, that's it.
yeah. It would be kind of crazy if they actually got a medium to work on this game, just to kind of give them a general idea. It would be kind of funny.
Right. And that's why I like to do these types of conversations with people, because people, like I said, in general, the only type of information they get is from TV and movies, and or these really there are some mediums out there who are on TV who really sensationalize it so much that they want you to think something. I mean, the stuff I see is, to the regular person, pretty fucking crazy. But I'm used to it now. I understand it. When I close my eyes, as soon as I close my eyes, until I go to sleep, I try not to, because when I close my eyes, I just start seeing faces. And I don't know who these people are. It's like I said, like going into the mall and looking at everybody. I don't know who they are. They're just people walking
Now,
around. And
there's one last thing I want to touch on before we decide to go into ads. So the other day, you told me I lived 27 lives.
Absolutely.
Why did that freak me out?
You've been fucking it up. It's not that you're really fucking it up. It's just our lives take twists and turns. And what happens with us is, when you live, you have two paths to be on. You have the alternate path and you have the correct path. When you are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing, and I'm going to give you a perfect example. When you're driving down the street in your car and you see another car in front of you and you say, I think I want to pass that car. But all of a sudden you get that feeling that's inside of you, and you know it because you know what it feels like. Don't pass the car. And you get that feeling and you go, oh man, I don't know if I, you get that scared feeling all of a sudden, like maybe I shouldn't do this. What that is that's your spirit guides, because we all have them. They're connecting with your soul, which runs your body. Your soul runs your body. It's not magic. It's because it's like a radio and a battery. If you take the battery out, the radio doesn't turn on.
Yeah.
So if you put the battery in, the power source, the body works. And that's what your soul is. But the soul that's inside of you now doesn't look like you now. It looks like you the last time you were here. Because every time it's in your body, it retains the shape of the previous body. But when you leave your body this time, I absolutely guarantee it, you will still feel like you. You'll just stand up and go, but you'll feel different. You will have memories, all the memories you've ever had in not just this life, but all your other lives will automatically rush into you and come back. And you'll know that you've been here 27 times. And that's why a lot of the people don't cross over into the light, because they know, if I've been here 27 times, they may not want to come back, because there's a possibility if you don't fulfill your purpose, you might have to come back again. But you've been here 27 times. If you're here now, if you go outside and look at anybody else who's here on earth, every one of them, including you, have all been to heaven. You don't remember it, because if you remembered it, you wouldn't be able to function doing the life that you're supposed to be here for, learning the lesson, and fulfilling the purpose.
I've seen the light, and that's the crazy thing is, in first grade, I almost drowned. I went to Salt Lake City on a family vacation, and I walked off the slope of the pool. I started drowning. I don't know how to swim.
Correct.
Never have. And I just went right off the dip, and I went under. I was under for, I think, like 30 seconds to a minute, somewhere in there. And they had to pull me out and push all the water out of me and everything else. I've seen the light. It's weird.
But you came back with knowing that, correct? Right?
Yeah.
So as you're telling me this, like I said, so I'm in contact with my spirit guides. My spirit guides, because I cross spirit over into the light, because I am what I am, that light and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Mine are a little bit different. Everybody has spirit guides. We always have initially 2. Sometimes you have more. Sometimes relatives who have fulfilled their purpose come back and want to be a spirit guide for you, to help you, because they're here to help us through our lives. They're here to help us make decisions. When you are driving that car and you see that car in front of you, and you get that feeling that says, no, don't do it. That's them connecting with you to tell you not to do it. And you always know this too, because you hear the stories when somebody goes and they go, I think I can pass that car. And they use their ego and they talk themselves out of that. And then they go around the car and then boom, they get the fucking accident. And then here's when you're going to know, this is the absolute to show you when you know spirit guides are talking to you. Anytime you hear anybody say, you know, when I was about to go around that card, I knew I should know. When they say that, when anybody says in any conversation, I knew I shouldn't, or I knew I should have, that knew is, that was your spirit guide telling you, don't do this. And it connected with your soul. So absolutely anything you do in your entire life, when they say, man, I knew I shouldn't have, and they say, it wasn't actually they knew it. It was their spirit guide telling them, don't do that.
Now, you went to say something and you held yourself back. You said that I saw the light as I was getting ready to say it. What did you see?
They're telling, so when I'm, like I said, when I'm in contact with my spirit guides, I'm going to take my glasses off so you can see this. I literally, every day of my life, I'm being touched. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now the spirit who walk around all day long, because they don't know what I am, they walk up to me, and ask yourself if you could get used to this all day. They walk up to me. They don't know what I am. They see the light, and they all walk up to me and start poking me and pinching me and touching me all over my body, everywhere. And that happens all day long. Now, some people would be like, man, what the fuck? Why am I so itchy? What the fuck? I know it's not an itchiness. I know it's actually somebody walking up and touching me, because they're trying to figure out what I am. But my spirit guides, who are actually, who I'm in conversation with all the time, my thoughts that go through my mind are no longer all mine. And it's been this way for 4 years now. My thoughts are more now, it's 65-35. So 65% of everything that goes through my mind is not me, it's them. 35% of me is just me now. I'm losing a lot, but I'm gaining a lot. But what I'm gaining is just something different. So when I'm talking to them, what's that?
So what did you see?
So when you were saying that you fell into the water and you were down in there and you saw a light, they're telling me, absolutely. They're touching me across my face, telling me, yes. So I know what you were saying is the truth. Mm-hmm. That's the one. That's part of my gift as well, because I get yes answers. It feels like a finger is running across my forehead. I get different ones that touch me. I get a Raphael, a Manos, Gabriel, Raphael, you know these names, Uriel, Michael, Paul, Jesus, Lucifer, he's not the devil. Helen touches my head. And when I get these touches here, they're telling me, yes, this is what's going on. Yes, it's what's happening. What he's saying, yes, is the truth. They're telling me. And they keep putting messages in. If you were to tell me something that wasn't true, it feels like a tear running down my face. But absolutely. So what they're telling me is, yes, you absolutely saw the light, you were not supposed to die. The reason you saw the light, it's something that they know was going to stick with you for the rest of your life. And they want it to.
Well, it was
Because
a year and a
they
half
want you to
after.
be able to tell other people so they will realize what you saw is for real.
Well, it
Because a
was
lot
about
of
a year and a half after I wanted to attempt suicide, which is the super, super intuitive thing was like, hey, after that point, I felt like my grandma was saving me essentially because a year and a half, 2 years before then, my grandmother and my brother passed away. And after that point, it was, I want to roll out the window. I lived on a third story. I wanted to die.
But you thought you wanted to die. But if you really wanted to die, you would have. Because what happens with that? Like I said, you can get hit by a car, all that.
Yep.
That's all facilitation. It's the same thing with suicide. But what happens with suicide is the reason why people commit suicide, and you probably hear about these stories as well. They always write a letter and they say, or they don't write a letter, but they tell somebody, I know I don't belong here anymore. I need to get out of here. And what happens with that is their soul takes over because the soul gets called home to go where it's supposed to go next. And when it's time to go, it's got to get out of here somehow. So what it does, it takes over for the body and forces the body and puts these things into your head that says, you got to get out of here. It will make the body do something in order for the body to die so the soul can move on. You just don't know it so much because what goes through your mind every day, all the decisions that you're making every day is part of you, but it's only half you. The other part is actually your soul and your spirit guides connecting with you to help you make these decisions. And it's important that you follow through with these decisions when they feel good. But when you get something that's kind of in you, what happens is these spirit guides are here to help to connect with you and help you make decisions. But there are other spirit who are not in that realm and in the earthbound spirit who are negative. There are negative energies out there and they will float around you. And when you have negative feelings running through you all the time and you can't seem to feel like you fit in, or you're always feeling bad because people are telling you you're a piece of shit all day long, and then you start to believe them, then these negative energies will come in contact with you. They will find you and then they will get connected to you. And then what it is I call them an energy vampire. They're not going to make your head spin around and make you spit out pea soup and turn green. That doesn't happen. No one gets possessed. But what they can do is they can influence you. They can put these thoughts into your mind, and you might start believing them and go, you know what? Oh, I'm going to believe. But the real you takes over. The soul part of you takes over and says, no, Zachary, you don't need to listen to that. You need to stay here. And you can fight against that. And then you start becoming more of a positive person. And when you become a positive person, those negative energies will leave because they don't want to be around positive energy, because they need to feed off the negative energy where they are in that realm. And what they do is they will suck it off of you, but then give you a little bit so you'll remain a negative person so they can continuously suck it off of you. And then what happens a lot of times is then you just become a negative person, horrible person, if you decide not to change from that. And then you do the same thing. You see the light when you die and you go, I don't want to go in there, because these negative people here, they like to remain negative because they think it gives them a sense of power when they're around other people, or power over other people, because they like to gossip and I have something over you, or they just like to be shitty and call people assholes because they think it makes them feel good. But it doesn't in the end, because when it's time to go, they see that light, they go, I don't want to go, and then stuck here. And then they stay here, and then you walk. They actually are the color red. They are what they make movies and TV shows about.
That was my question right before the ads. You see that there's different colors.
They are different colors. You have blue ones, you have the red ones, okay? But that's all in the earthbound spirit. I can guarantee you, absolutely guarantee, you have seen a spirit that has crossed into heaven. I can absolutely guarantee it. And you'll probably say, Yeah, because what happens is when they are there, they can actually come back here and materialize. I hate that word, and they will look just like they do here. And you'll
Okay.
see a crowd of people,
And
and
we're
you'll see
gonna
10 people. And go ahead.
and we're gonna go right there in 1 second, but we're gonna go do these ads real quick. We're about 10
Oh,
minutes late,
do
unless
it,
we're
man.
going for an hour and a half,
Boom,
which we
boom.
might just
But
go for an hour
I'll
and a
keep
half,
going.
2 hours. Exactly. That's why I'm cutting you off, baby. I know.
I can't
I
shut the
know.
hell up.
So first off, we have Robinhood. Many of you have seen that everyone and their grandmother is trading cryptos right now, like Dogecoin and Bitcoin. You want to join them? You want to get free money right now? Join Robinhood using our link down in the description or in the comments below, and you get free stocks that you can sell as your down payment to the moon. You have the chance right now to win a stock that's worth $1 to $500. That is real money, people. Stop being idiots. Make sure to click the link down below and join Real Men Talk Shit and millions of others using Robinhood as their crypto trading application. Also, this is a big one. Fucking Blue Chew. So many people have problems feeling confident in the bedroom, whether that's because of depression or other medical issues, or even if you want to perform better. Go give it a free trial and you get it for free. You just pay shipping and handling and you give Blue Chew a try. You feel like you can take it all and they make sure it won't hurt you. You pay the shipping and handling and they give you your first shipment for free. Use the link down in the comments or in the description and you feel like a naked Greek god, just like the ones Dan sees every single day.
Or it looks like every day.
Exactly.
I love free. It's one of my favorite 4-letter words.
Exactly. There's only one other F word that I love. Oh, wait, there's two.
Food.
Yeah. And fuck.
Yeah. I like that one. It's a word.
I use it way too fucking often. So the question is, were you talking about the story that I told you about the other day? Or were you telling me about things that I've actually seen that you can have the answer to without me knowing it?
I can know some things. Like I said, all mediums have different gifts. I never profess to, nor do I ever say that I am psychic, because I'm not. I do get answers sometimes beforehand when someone's coming to have a reading with me, but only if they have the intention to come. But I will know they have the intention, and then. But sometimes I'm around people, and all of a sudden I get things brought in. But the thing with that is, you don't know how everybody is going to be affected by that. Before I was here, when I was messaging you earlier in that group text, I was actually sitting at a car show at this little bar. I was drinking my little Pepsi and eating French fries and looking at the hot bartenders, because they are. And one of them walked past me, and when she walked past me, she's got a real big decision she's got to make. She's worried about it. It's really affecting her life. It's putting a lot of pressure on her, but she's walking around with a big smile on her face, acting like nothing's wrong. And as soon as I came in, I was like, and then so I say to myself, which is them, I said, should I say something to her about it? And then the thing went and across my forehead. So I said, oh, okay, so I should say so. But then it just got so busy there, I didn't have time. And it got to the point where I said, I told them I had to leave because I have a conference call. I have to talk to somebody. But I'll be back next week to talk to you guys. And they were like, oh, all right, cool beans. But the one bartender who was there already knows me. And we talk about a lot of this stuff because I kind of woke her up on it last year. And she comes back and forth to me all the time. Hey, did this person here and this person here? Hey, what'd you think of these two people here? And these two people were standing there. And I said, that guy right there, he just met that girl and he's trying to press her, but she's not falling for his shit. So don't worry about it because you won't see him here the next week. And then the next week, the guy came back and he told us how she broke up with him. and my friend, the bartender, looked at me and goes, no, you didn't. I said, I can't make this shit up.
So I was telling you the story the other day, and in my living room, it's L-shaped. So just that way I explain it a little better. My TV is blocking off essentially the big rectangle of the L shape, and I'm sitting in the small rectangle, the small square shape of the L. So I'm in like the little leg part, and the other part's the big part. And I walk past my TV, and I see this orange ball of light that was about the size of my head and about this far away from me, about this far,
Absolutely.
and just gone all the way up into the top corner. And it was the brightest fucking light, and it actually emitted light to everywhere else in the room. But it was like a light beam, like a neon light. So the light didn't
Right.
stretch out very far. It was just very consolidated, but it did show light on other things. Originally, I
Right.
thought this was a fucking spark. Like, I thought just my eyes played a trick on me, and I saw a spark go across the room. And I'm like, what the fuck was that? And it was bright fucking orange. So I told
It's
you
a
this the
person.
other day.
Yes. It's a person. And yes, the light does actually shine, because when you leave here, even inside of this right here, because all this is a meat suit. That's what you have on. And you have this meat suit on because your soul is here to learn physical lessons. And the only way it can do that is in a physical body. Basically, what we are is one big giant science experiment for this higher power that's out there. He wants us to learn things. I call him he, but he is neither he or she. God just is. Or we just say his name is God. But the reason we say his name is God is because we say the word God is something that is all powerful. And that's what that just is. Because when you look up in the sky and you see everything around you, you think that stuff just happened? No, that shit was created. But where it came from, but I know it was created. So, because like I said, my spirit guides are what we call archangels. They do not look like men with wings. They don't even look like men. Most of the ones that I see, I have one that's a woman. Her name's Helen. She was actually a woman who walked on the face of this earth over 5,000 years ago. No one dies and becomes an angel like that. It just doesn't happen. You have to learn how to become that as well. And it's a very long process. But yes, I see them all the time and they're around me. I always used to ask them, does God want me to do this? Does God want me to do that? And they say, no, you don't have to worry about that. Whatever we tell you is what God wants, because they are the right hand of God. There's a difference, and people don't know this as well. So here's a little trick of the trade. Not even a lot of mediums don't know this, because only certain mediums are privy to certain information. They're not all privy to like what I get, which is angel stuff, because of me crossing spirit over, because I'm doing work for them, So I don't just when I talk to spirit, I don't actually connect with like your mom and dad. I connect with my spirit guides, which are archangels, which are connected to everything, which gets me information about everyone, because we're all actually connected. Because when you leave here, when you cross over into heaven, you're not just going to know the certain 100 people that you met here in your lifetime. You're going to get there and you will absolutely know every single spirit there. And I mean, gazillions. But it's hard to fathom that, because we're only told what we're told here. You're not told about your life there. Like I said, you are a pure energy when you get there. And that's what you saw floating around. They are pure energy, and pure energy is lit energy, that glowing energy.
With
If you
it
see
glowing orange.
Oh yeah.
Now, with it glowing orange, is that actually the red that you were talking about leaving my life?
No. Oh no. No. If you receive red, they will not only just show red, but because they are pure energy, they can manifest themselves to look differently. And what they sometimes do is they make their faces look scary, because they know, because they were once people here and they know what people are scared of. So they will put a scary face on to get you convinced that they are a devil or they have horns. Because I've seen them. I've seen skulls with red eyes and fangs and nasty looking things. But they're just doing that to make you scared. And why are they trying to make you scared? Because when they make you scared, then you feel fear. And when you feel fear, then you feel negativity. And when you feel negativity, then they come over to you and suck your negative energy off of you. That's why they do it. That's the only reason why they do it.
That's
Makes
super
sense?
interesting. Yeah, no, exactly. I was asking the color thing because it's like you said red specifically. Orange is so close to red that it's like it'd be mistaken. So I was wondering if it was what you were
Oh
saying.
no! If it was, if you see something orange, because my wife sees orange ones all the time. I see yellow ones. I've seen gray ones, blue ones, blue with black little squiggly lines in it, yellow with black squiggly lines, gray with black squiggly lines, uh, green. But when you see red, man, you know it. I mean, it's like fire engine red. I mean, and they will, because they are negative or because they are energies altogether. Like when my dad comes through, I see my dad's been gone for 14 years, but I still see him all the time because heaven is not 3,000 miles in the sky. Heaven's right next to us. We just can't all see it. I see it, but not everybody can. But because not everybody's supposed to, because if you could see it and you saw your friend who died 5 years ago, and it's like a glass wall, you'd be banging on that wall trying to get his attention. What would you not be doing? You wouldn't be living the life that you're supposed to be living here. So,
Exactly. So
so you
I
don't,
want
so
to
you
do a
don't
nice
see
little
it.
test here.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I haven't prompted
Yeah.
anything. I didn't tell Dan about this at all, obviously. But I wanted to be truthful and say that I didn't prompt him for this. I haven't given him any information other than he knows I'm 27 years old. I'm from upstate New York, and a few of the stories that we've told back and forth. That's about all that he knows. Do
Yeah.
you see any of my relatives?
And you're telling the truth right now. I'm trying to, so I'm closing my eyes to take a look with you.
So right now, Dan is looking into the spirit realm. And this is kind of like a test of actually being able to see something or not being able to see something, depending on if, this ideal is actually fanatical or idealistic. And if he's able to actually see things, which may or may not happen, even if he's able to, it actually leads credence to what he's saying. Because if he's able to pull
Oh
something
yeah,
out
I
that he has
mentioned
no,
you got. I don't know who this guy is, so I'm going to try to describe him to you.
okay,
He's got grayish white hair. He's got a white beard, and it's a white beard that comes around like this. It doesn't come out here or anything. It comes around like this and like that. Almost looks like what's that guy? Remember that singer Kenny Rogers?
okay,
Like that. Like he has a white goatee like mine, but his comes all the way up here. He's got white hair. It's almost in like folded back, like a, what do they call that? Like a 1950s pompadour.
okay.
That's what he's saying. It's very, but his mustache is very bushy. I'm trying to get a good look at him, but there's someone else that keeps crossing in front of him.
Somebody important or somebody not at all?
Man. So hold on a second. I'm not talking to you. Knock it off, buddy. Stop. Oh, it's not a person. That's why. Is that a spirit animal for him? Is that a spirit animal for him? No.
So as I was
There's a
saying, is
huge,
Dan,
there's a huge fucking horse standing right next to him. A big fucking horse. I'm not talking like one of these like smaller horses that you see that's walking around like a pony. I'm talking like huge,
full size
like you would
horse.
see, like Clydesdale type horse.
Yeah. So are you seeing clothing from like the 1700s?
No, man, this guy. So I'm seeing what this guy is showing me. He also has long hair as well, and it comes down to about here. He keeps turning around every time he turns around, and he's doing this. So he keeps.
So the only thing that doesn't match up is the beard.
Hold on, let me ask. So let me ask him if this is him. So is that him? It's him later on in life.
So
let me ask him.
What was his job?
I have to ask him. They won't tell me that. They don't tell me.
Like individualized things?
No, and the reason why is because there's a difference between spirit. Spirit who is the horse with him? So the horse that's with him, the horse that's with this man is with him. They died together.
That would make sense.
He rode the horse. I mean, so the horse was his horse.
Yes. He battled in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
He was the first governor of Rhode Island. And
yeah, he's. I'm trying to ask him why he keeps showing me his older self, though. Because of the long hair picture. He wants me to see, to let him, because that's why I said he keeps going like this to show me the long hair that he had. Because I don't see the hat on his head. He keeps I see his full head of hair, but he keeps going like this, and then turns. As I look at him, he's looking at you like he's looking at me, and then he turns around and goes like this because he wants me to see the long hair, because the long hair indicated something.
Yeah, well, he was the first governor of Rhode Island, and he's actually the reason why I started trying to do the founding father thing.
Yeah, so everything you're telling me is they're saying yes, that is correct. So and that's him.
He was one of the founding fathers. He signed part of the Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
My family name is on the Declaration of Independence.
Yes.
And that's why I wanted to do the whole real founding fathers thing, the new founding fathers, was I thought it was a super interesting way to call back to the past, to call back to life that happened before.
And they are telling me to tell you, Spirit is telling me to tell you that you should follow through with that.
Because I felt like
you need to take it past that it just being an idea for you. They're telling me to tell you that you need to follow through with that, because it's going to come, because you're going to come in contact with more people who have the same affiliation.
And I feel like the freedom of speech in this country.
You're going to come in contact with more people who are related to the people whose names are actually on that.
That would be fucking cool. But
yeah.
So I've always found freedom of speech to be the most important thing in this country. Freedom of religion doesn't really matter because I'm not religious. Freedom of the press is freedom of the speech, just written down. And I've been banned on Facebook. I've been banned on Twitter. I've been banned on Reddit, all because I have conservative ideologies. And I think it's funny that out of anybody you could have picked out of, my grandmother, my brother, you pick out somebody who I've never met before, that I've never told you about.
You don't need to. Well, you didn't meet him now, but that doesn't mean anything. But the reason why he's here, like I said, when sometimes people come through who are with you for spirit guides, that's why he is here. He's here with you to be a spirit guide for you. And that's why they keep telling me to tell you that you need to get past just having the idea for that thing as an idea and actually follow through with it. Because when you do that, he's going to help you with it more or less. When you feel something, like I said, something comes through and you go, this is the right thing to do. That's actually him and get in contact with your soul, which runs your body. And that's why you're going to feel those things. He's going to guide you to what to do next. And then later, we can talk about it later on, and I'll help you with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll tell you how to get in touch with them.
I think that's super, super intuitive. As I was saying, you didn't see my brother, who I've told stories about in this episode. You didn't talk about my grandmother, who I've talked about in this episode. You talked about somebody who is not connected to me at all, which actually leads credence to what I was trying to prove.
But it is.
Dan, you're real. You're not fake.
Yeah.
And
no.
I'm not trying to be a douchebag, but I wanted to actually see, hey, let's prove it to everybody. I believed already, which is why I did it. I'm intelligent enough to understand that other people aren't going to necessarily believe just without proof. Now, Dan, did I tell you anything about that at all?
No, you just told me about the idea of doing that that type of podcast, but you didn't tell me why.
Yeah, and there it is, right there.
I just thought it was a neat idea.
Well, it is a fucking neat idea. Hell, I'll drop it right now. I'm still contemplating running for House of Representatives for District 19.
You need to stop. I mean, they're telling me stop contemplating the idea and start it. I mean, and I know you, because you're going to do all your research about it anyway, because that's just the type of person you are anyway. But they want you to just like get it up off the ground and do it. And you have to do it right now. There's a reason why. And I'll get into that later with you on a personal level, but you have to do it right now. It has to be done now.
So what the spirit is trying to say is they never made it to the White House because the White House wasn't built yet. That's where they want me. I'm just being a smartass, but
better to be a smartass than a fucking dumbass. That's for sure.
And there's more than enough of those in this fucking world.
Yeah, yeah.
We're too fucking connected.
The reason why, one of the reasons why he came through and maybe your grandmother didn't, is because when you leave here, let me give you a for instance. If you live where you live now, and say your grandmother lived 3 hours away, and you live your normal, regular life, would you be able to go and visit your grandmother all the time, every single day?
No.
And would you want to?
No.
Well, you know what? They don't always want to come back and visit us either.
Yeah.
So we don't always we have spirit around us all the time, but your grandmother, she lived a life here. Right. Well, she lived a life here. She had enough of this place. She gets to go be somewhere else that's way cooler. Why do you think she would want to come back in here and just hang out with us all day long? Because they don't always want to do that. Sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. And people say, oh, I want to connect with my mom or dad. Well, you know what? Just because you want to connect with them doesn't mean your mom and dad's spirit does want to connect with you. It's not that they're angry with you, but they lived their life here. They want to move on to something else, but because you can.
That's why I didn't say names. That's why I didn't say who. That's why I didn't say any of that. Was, hey, pull somebody out. Tell me something. Because you telling me something is more intuitive than me telling you specifically, oh, grab my grandmother, go grab my brother. Because that's not going to tell us anything. That's not going to prove anything. You completely describe somebody. Yeah, but you also completely describe somebody other than a beard in
because it's what I
early attire. Yeah, in early attire. And I was able to tell you specifically this person was related to me and I'm a direct descendant from them. And there's a reason.
Absolutely. And they are here to help you for a reason. I'll give you a perfect example. And I know people can say, oh, this is just hearsay or he just made this up. But how can I make this up? So I did a reading for a guy. He came to me and he was what he called a Buddhist. Okay. And he didn't want to call it spirit and he didn't want to call it God. And he said, when I was getting answers, I was talking to my people. So he asks me a question, and I have a lot of people who like to trick me, or they want to try to trick me, or want me to do an audition for them. So I try to play along, but This was a fun one. So this guy come in and he said, I'm looking to get a new job. And he said, I'm thinking about either doing an auto mechanic or I'm going to be like a social worker. And I was like, okay. And he says, can you ask your people? I was like, all right. And I was like, I said, okay. I said, here's the deal. You could become a social worker, and being a social worker is fine with you, but being a social worker, you're going to help people, but you're not going to feel it in your heart. You do the job very well, and you are this very well. And as I'm saying this, like I'm saying it right now, you do the job very well, saying you do it already, and you are very good at it, and you are helping people, but it doesn't make you feel good inside. What you need to do is become the auto mechanic, and you can keep on doing the social work thing. And he doesn't pick up that I'm already saying he's already a social worker. And he says, and I said, you can keep on doing that, but you need to become the auto mechanic, because when you get done fixing somebody's car, they're going to be so gratified. They're going to put so much gratitude out there because you kept them you can help them get back on the road. That's where you're going to feel so good about it. So that's what you need to do. And he said, okay. And I said, he said, do you see any spirits around me? And I looked around and I said, oh yeah, I see this dude here. And I described him to him, and he said, that sounds like my brother. And I said, yeah. Your brother John? And he went, how the fuck did you know my brother's name was John? I said, because John just told me, because some spirit tell me things and some of them don't. And he was like, I said, oh, and your brother John's a mechanic too, right? And he said, well, he was in the Marines and he worked on ships. I said, yeah, he's a mechanic, correct? And he said, oh, yeah, I guess you're right. He's a mechanic. I said, yeah, he's here for you to be a spirit guide for you, to help you to become this car mechanic. So he's going to hear, and I explained how he can get in touch with him at that point. And he's like, okay. So at the end of the reading, he says to me, oh, I just wanted to let you know, I actually am a social worker. And I said, yeah, you remember how I was saying you do this very well? And he goes, oh, I didn't put two and two together. I said, yeah, I know. I said, it's okay, but I understand. I said, but here's the thing. You need to become the car auto mechanic. And he said, well, that's the part about it. He said, I signed up for an auto mechanics class about 2 weeks ago over at this school that's near me. And he said, but I don't think I'm going to get in. I said, why is that? He said, well, because they told me I signed up kind of late. And I told him, I said, his name is Jeff. And I said, Jeff, when you get done with me today, you need to call them today. Don't put it off till tomorrow or the next day. Call them. And I mean, as soon as you get done with me, get out of here, make the frickin' call. And he goes, okay. So we got done the reading. And then he called me about an hour later. He goes, you're never going to guess what happened. And I said, okay, Jeff, I'm never going to guess what happened. What happened? And he said, I called up the college and they called my phone and left a message on my phone. And it said to call them back right away. So I called them up and they told me if I had not called them back that day, they were going to go to the next guy. And I said, because you're in the class. He said, yes. He said, they said I got into the class. But like he said, if I didn't call back today, they were going to skip me and go on to the next guy. And I said, yeah. And I can't make this shit up, Jeff. And he's like, oh, yeah. You did tell me to call today. I said, yeah.
Now, I wasn't putting you on for an audition. I wanted to tangibly
prove.
No,
that's okay.
I wanted you to understand. I just wanted you to understand what I was trying to do is being able to tangibly prove something makes so much more sense to some people than just sitting here having a conversation. That right there, that tangibility of, hey, you might have just seen my great-great-great-grandfather. And that tangibility right there is more tangible than us sitting here telling stories about what color spirits are. So much more tangibility.
And what you did by asking me that way is what you and other people need to do. Because when you go to a medium, and if you give them so much information and they only add just a little bit to it, then you go, oh, wow, this was amazing. No, it really wasn't. They just figured it out. That's all. And that's what you want to do. When you go to somebody like me, you want to be able to get something reputable from them, something that is actually real. So what you don't want to do is give them too much information. You want them to get the information for you.
Like the phone psychics. And these things used to piss me off and make me giggle, even as a kid. Because it made sense to me exactly what the hell they were doing. Is you call up, they ask you your name, your phone number, what you're asking. And what you're asking is, can you talk to my grandmother? Can you talk to my mother? Can you talk to this person? Am I going to fall in love? Is my love real? Is my relationship going to last? Is something good going to happen? And most of those answers are either yes or no. And you gave them all of the information that they need in order to tell you exactly what you want to hear.
Right. And I'll tell you what, I get it just as well, because sometimes I have friends who are like tarot card readers and also readers, and I'll go on Facebook because they have something live going on. And there are people who scam people out of money by doing this. They go into those rooms and they see these people in there, and then they'll send them a private email saying, hey, I'll give you a reading for free. And if you like my reading, then you can give me what they call a gift. And what gift means to them is money. And they will tell you, I can help you more if you give me more of a gift. And that's how they get people into that. So I like to play that game all the time because I know they are full of shit. And they will say, hey, I'll give you a reading. So this one told me one time, he said, take a picture of your palm and get a close-up of it. And then I'll do the reading for you and give me and your birth date and all this crap. And I said, okay. So I did that shit because I thought, yeah, I'll play the game. So I do all that shit. And they said, but you know, I don't do this necessarily for free. I would like, we take gifts or donations. And I said, here's what I'll do for you. If you give me a little bit of a reading and I see that that's good, I'll give you a big gift. And then we can keep on going on. And they were like, of course, you know, but yeah, whatever. So she gave me all this reading. Not once did she mention that I'm a medium. She said, oh, well, you have some negativity in your life and you're going to start
everything's vague, everything's generalized, everything's bullshit.
Across the board bullshit. And when I told her, I said, well, you know, this kind of sucks. And she says, why? I said, because I'm actually a medium and you didn't mention that at all. Oh, well, I said, oh, yeah. And then we got into this conversation and I said, you need to stop trying to take people for their money. Well, I'm trying to raise money, you know, to make this place that all other people like you and me. I said, no, it's not for people like you and me because you're not like me. I said, you're just a scam artist trying to get money out of people. So no. And I told her what I'm going to do is now I'm going to put you on my list because I have your name here and your contact information. And then when I do my live shows to tell everybody that don't listen to your fucking bullshit because you're a piece of shit liar. And she's like, oh, please don't do that. And I said, well, you know, you do it to yourselves. But I'm horrible like that.
Oh, being a dick is the most fun thing in the fucking world.
But sometimes you have to
and bullshit.
You have to be to get to the truth.
Yeah.
And that's what my thing is I'm not just trying to put a message out there because like with this, I did a little bit of a reading for you, but that's not what I'm here to do. What I'm here to do is to teach people where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do in our lives, why we are here, what our purpose is, and then try to help them to achieve that so they know where they're going to be going next. And that's what I'm here to do. But along the way, because I can talk to spirit to cross other spirit over into heaven, I can talk to them and I can ask them every question and any question that I want to, and I get answers for them because I can get them from me. I can get them from other people. But when I see you here and I look and close my eyes and I look into that spirit realm, I'm just saying who's around you. There's no, how is it possible that I can not just see that man, but also a horse and tell you, oh, he rides this horse time because it's his form of transportation. How the fuck would I know that? And how the hell would I guess that?
Exactly.
Because back then, that's all they had was fucking horses. There wasn't
Yeah.
any fucking cars, you know? If I'd have seen
I'm
a race
surprised you
car,
didn't
you'd have
see a
been like,
ship.
what the fuck's that?
I'm surprised you didn't see a ship. His brother was part of the slave trade.
They show me what they want me to know. Like I said, when he kept turning around and doing this,
Yep.
and then when you showed me the picture of the guy with long hair,
It was
two
my
and
first
two.
Google search.
Was
My
it?
first Google search. First person. I knew exactly. I just had a strange feeling what you were going to say. So I was like, once you said long hair, I was like, I got this. Watch this
When you
happen.
just when you just said that, like I just said, I knew, or I got a strange feeling. That strange feeling is actually your spirit guides connecting with you, telling you this is right.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And people need to pay attention to that more. Everyone else in the world needs to pay attention when they get these strange feelings, or when you get a bad feeling that says, don't do this, don't do it. When you get a good feeling, or you get goosebumps is not a nervous thing in your skin. That's your soul going, this is a good thing to do. This is awesome. Or when you hear music that feels really good, and what you're hearing is you're hearing the vibration, and you're feeling the vibration, you're hearing those tones, and that's what's connecting with you, which connects to your soul, which makes your goosebumps go, and you get that feeling. Like when you hug somebody. You ever notice when you walk up to somebody and you hug them and you go, and you give them a hug. But there are some people in this world that you hug them and you go, oh my God, and you just feel this urge to hug them tighter and you don't want to let them go. That's an energy transfer. That's your soul that is actually connected to their soul when you're there, and you've met again here, and you don't want to let go.
What's called a dual flame, kind sir?
A dual flame is basically
Exactly what you just said.
yes, it's that connection. A lot of people have this big misconception with that as well. They call that I have a soulmate, okay? And they think, oh, every soulmate that you have is not necessarily somebody you're going to fall in love with. And TV and movie wants you to believe that. Am I going to find my soulmate? Yeah. And see, mediums know this. Will you find your soulmate? Yes, you will find your soulmate. And they go, oh, well, that's the answer. Yay, I'm going to find them. But they don't tell you what your soulmate is actually. Your soulmate could actually be a dog or a cat,
Your best
or
friend.
a horse, or your best friend, or right, because what they are was another soul that you were in contact while you were there, or over there, or over there, because it's all around you, and you were friends there, and now they happen to be in the body. Happen to be, and you happen to be, no, nothing happens to be. There is coincidences. You're here all for a reason, and then you hook up with each other and do good things together. And sometimes it is love. And the reason it is love, because there it's all about love. It's all about forgiveness. It's all about doing good things together. But the good things, that love you're feeling, those good things you're doing, is that absolute soul connection. That's what's going on. But again, TV and movies, and you have these, so-called fortune tellers out there, they kind of ruin it for people like me. Because if I don't find them, talk to them, because when I do a reading for someone, like what I just did with you, some people, they don't always get the reading they want, but they always get the reading they need.
Yep.
And the reading you needed with that part was, I needed to connect to see what I saw and everything about it, so it would make sense to you. And it did.
And it's tangible enough that we can sit here and clip that, and it proves what the hell you are.
Right. Which
and
is not crazy.
Look at that. God damn. You guys have been sitting here looking at my kitchen the entire fucking time. I moved my hand and I see it. Nothing. I got fucking pizza. I had a doctor's appointment before this, and then I had 3 kids to take care of, and then I had this podcast, and I was like, it's a fucking pizza night.
Hell yeah. Because nothing's wrong with pizza,
I
especially when it's
fucking love
cold.
pizza. No, hot pizza is the only way to eat pizza. If you eat cold pizza, there's something wrong with you.
I do live in Delaware, so.
Yeah. The only state that I've ever been in where every single road's fucking cobblestone and the most uncomfortable way to ride on it.
Yeah, we do. We actually do up in Dover, Delaware. They turned a bunch of the roads up there into cobblestone roads. They are horrible to ride on, and horrible to ride on because I ride a motorcycle on because the bike it makes it hard for it to track and it slips and slides all over the road. Horrible.
My aunt lives in the north part of Delaware somewhere. I don't remember the exact town. It might be Wilmington, but I could be wrong. And I remember going down there once, and I remember just feeling completely car sick and nauseous the entire time from the second that we got into town until the second we got out, because everything was just vibrating and rumbling and just fucking horrible. It was the worst feeling in the fucking world.
That's the northern part of Delaware. Where I'm at, what they call lower, slower Delaware, because I think everybody's, slower down here. It's just a slower, easier lifestyle down here. It's a lot of farm area. You would know you were in lower, slower Delaware because everything smells like chicken shit. Because there's chicken plants around here. I have one right down the road from me. And as soon as you walk out the door, you smell chicken shit. So
it's like driving through the upper part of fucking New Jersey, where everything smells like a fucking dirty diaper.
Right, because I'm from New Jersey, and my favorite saying from New Jersey is "Kiss your girlfriend where it smells. Take her to New Jersey."
It's bad. Anybody who hasn't been to the north part of New Jersey, it's fucking hilarious. It's literally all mobsters and diaper factories. That's the only shit that's fucking there. And until you get to the south part where it's fucking beautiful. But everywhere else, it's diapers and mobsters. And either you're being careful or you smell like shit.
I lived in South Jersey, but I lived on the side closer to Philadelphia. Actually, there was 2 blocks down. We called them blocks then. And you went down this hill, and the Delaware River was right there. And as a child, I used to swim in the Delaware River, and that river was not clean. We knew the point when we knew when it was okay to go into the water is we would stand there and we would have to wait till the oil slicks went by. And then when that cleared up, then we'd jump in the water.
Exactly. And then you get hit with a tampon applicator in the foot.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's okay. Just because when you get older, you do it when you get old anyway. Go, oh, get that out of my face. Let me get back to this. So, yeah.
No, when you get older, you don't fucking see them anyway because there isn't a need for them. But so
yeah, that's for sure.
I think that this has been a blast. I do want to have you on again and just bullshit like we did last time on the phone.
Oh, absolutely, man.
Sit here and tell stories. I know we could sit here and tell prison stories and everything else for like the next 4 hours.
Yeah, I got a load of those.
But let's save all the fat. Let's save all the shit. Because I feel like we killed a fucking hour and a half. And let's keep it topical this time. And then next time we'll have some fun. So
yeah, absolutely.
As always, guys, thank you, Dan, for coming on. Why don't you shout out all your stuff?
Thank you, Zach, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Make sure to check out Dan. His link will be down in the description below. He is now part of the Real Men Talk Shit network of podcasts, which is really fucking weird to say. I'm so happy that it's fucking announced finally. That was so much fucking work to do. Make sure to check out Robinhood. Make sure to check out Robinhood. And if you need any crypto advice, make sure to follow the link down in the description below. Get your free stock and try and get your down payments to the moon. Check out Blue Chew. Everybody needs a stiff dick, even when you are a spirit, because who the hell knows what that spirit pussy feels like. This has been Real Men Talk Shit. We'll see you fucking later.